What's up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm as always, your grateful host, Cam Williamson. Stoked to be here with you. Today we're talking about boundaries, setting boundaries in life, not just the typical boundaries. Not just the, hey, don't treat me that way. Hey, don't talk to me that way. Hey, I'm not going to put up with that. Obviously, we're going to talk about that. It's a boundary. It's the one that we all need to figure out in our lives, but we're going to talk about where do they come from, right? If you don't have boundaries set in your life, it's chaotic, right? A lot of you come to this show because life is chaos, constantly, all the time, and we can't figure out why. It's why I started the show. I know from experience because I started the damn show because my life was constantly in chaos, always wondering, why is this happening to me? Why does this cycle seem to keep repeating itself? Why can I not move past this person, place, or thing that seems to keep me in a place that I don't want to be anymore? Well, after almost 30 years of hating myself and thinking that I wasn't worth anything and thinking that I was doing everything wrong and thinking that I was just the wrong person for every person in the world, including myself, that I was never going to find happiness in myself, I realized, as we all will, that no matter what happens in life, you will deal with every single one of your problems alone. Right here is the beginning of our conversation. We all have, I hope, people that we can reach out to in a time of need. Hey, I need you. I need to vent. I need to get this emotion out so I'm not carrying it anymore. That's important. I just want to get it out of me so that way I'm not feeling it anymore. And then we wait for their response. What is their response? A person's response is their perspective on the situation you gave them. It's their opinion. It's all of their life's accumulated moments put into this one moment to give you an answer. It could be swayed by current situations they're in. It could be swayed by past traumas that they have. And it could be swayed by what they want in the future but may not even say. So remember, when you ask people for their opinions, it's all to be taken with a grain of salt, obviously. I tried hard not to use that phrase, but it came out anyway. Take it with a grain of salt, but also take it with the understanding of who you're talking to. Consider the source type thing, right? If you're talking to someone that you know is jaded on life, well, don't talk to them and try to get advice from them. I'm not saying you can't, cohabitate with them or whatever, but don't come to them with stuff that means the world to you. Because if they're just going to shit all over it because you know that they don't have much optimism in their life and they don't have much hope for the future, well, they're not going to want to hear about how you're working to get better than what they have, and that's important. We all have a group of people that we could probably count on one hand that genuinely gives a crap about you and wants to see you genuinely reach the highest level of you, right? Most people, they want you to stay how they remember you, and they will come back to you when they need that version of you again. If you start to change, everyone will notice. Well, you're changing. Why are you changing? And they notice because when people start to set boundaries for themselves, they go, well, I can't just call you anytime now. And I can't just uproot whatever you're doing and make my problem your emergency now. I don't know if I like that. You're changing. You're changing who you are. And then we start to hear things like, well, you're not as loving. You're not as kind. You're not all these things that I used to love about you, right? And that's usually the stuff you hear when you start to set a boundary. Well, why are you being so mean? Why are you being so hard? Why are you being so shut off from me? Why are you pushing me away? These are things you'll start to hear when you set boundaries, and healthy ones, right? Just because you're hearing these things, that doesn't mean that you're setting unhealthy boundaries, that you're being selfish. It means that from that person's perspective, your service in their life is dwindling. The way you are now no longer serves how I see you in my future. I.e., if you aren't someone that I can call and just bitch about my life to, if you're actually going to tell me, hey, stop that doesn't benefit you, you're not helping yourself, you're not helping me, you're actually bringing me down to where you are, and I would hope that you would call me so I can bring you up to where I am. And you know that's where I am, and that's why you're calling me. Don't call me to bring me down. I can't have that. That's a boundary. And then people will start to say, like I said, wow, that's awful cold, that's awful insensitive, it's awful fucking insensitive for you to call me, not giving a fuck how my day's going, and you're just gonna drop this negative bomb in my life that I have to carry all day now. Our next boundary: don't carry other people's shit. If you are a helper and you feel like you're a healer to people in some way, even if it's just being able to open your heart and listen to them and hear them out when no one else will, that's fantastic, but don't carry their bullshit. Remember that most people, myself included, bullshit is created by themselves, and only them can get them out of it. I feel this way about this situation because, and then word vomit usually follows. What a lot of emotion and a lot of passion so that they feel like their give a fuck is coming across. When really, you look, and when someone is completely coming disheveled, and I was really bad about this when I drank. When I drink and I feel, I know what I feel. I feel the same whether I'm drunk or sober. But when I'm drunk and my inhibitions are low and I feel, now nobody else's boundaries matter to me. Because I'm hurt and my inhibitions are taken here. Which means the respect and the love and the admiration and the, what's the word I want to use here? Just adorance that we have for people can be so tainted when we don't have healthy boundaries, and then we add alcohol or substances or just strong emotions that we don't know how to control, because essentially that's all alcohol does. Alcohol brings out these strong feelings that you suppress for so long, and finally enough alcohol volume hits and your body goes, I can't do this anymore. I can't, or if nothing else, not that I can't, but I won't live another minute with this living in my heart. And you're trying to ease the pain, which is why we use substances. Here's another boundary that we need to talk about. Boundaries in substances. I don't believe anyone has the right to tell you how to live your life. You want to drink your drink, you want to smoke your smoke, you want to do your shit, do your shit. Absolutely do your shit. Set boundaries for yourself. And if you find that you cannot keep up with your own boundary, realize that that's a problem you are having with you. That's not a problem that your kids pissed you off, so you decided to drink when you wasn't going to drink, or your spouse did this, so now you're rationalized. We're rationalized because we feel like we can do this now. The amount of shit I've rationalized to myself. The amount of fucking times that I sat around going, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm done. I'm done walking down this fucking road and watching this shit that runs down that road at me, only so when the shit is done hitting me, I can get run over by a car, and then that whoever's driving that bitch can back up over me, only to take off again. Why? Why does it happen? Because I have had no boundaries. You could walk into my life whenever you want. You could leave whenever you want, which anyone can do that. But the first one is hella important. You don't let just anyone walk in whenever they want. You got an appointment to talk to me? Do you have a reason to talk to me? And more importantly, do I give a fuck to talk to you? How many times do you sit and waste moments of your precious time listening to someone? Oh yeah, well, the weather's like this, and this is like that, and this is small talk. And inside you're going, I'd rather fucking watch my head explode and paint the side of that wall than keep listening to whatever it is the fuck you're talking about. Because not only do I not give a fuck about it, you clearly don't give a fuck about it, which is where the monotone, voice is coming from, and the this and that, and hanging down and set a boundary and cut that shit off. Hey man, you got something to say to me? No, I got the weather app, dog. I don't need to hear this. And again, you might come off as cold to some people. You might. Learn to respect yourself. What is your time worth? What is your communication worth? What is your effort worth? If it doesn't mean shit to you, then why would it mean anything to anybody else? If I know I can walk into McDonald's, right, and I order my food, and I know that even if the food is correct in the way I ordered it, but I know out of principle, their thing is the customer is always right. That's the boundary they set. I walk in, order, they give me correct, and I turn around and go, this is wrong, I want another one. Just because that's what I feel like doing in that moment, it's because they set the precedent of how they're willing to be treated by me. It's up to me to be a good person and stay within the lines of being morally objective. Here's the other thing with boundaries. Our morals, our religions, our upbringings, these form our boundaries. They form, I will do this, I will not do that. I am willing to navigate in this area, I'm not willing to navigate in that area. And they form us at a foundational level from the very basic thoughts you have of what love is, what marriage is, what finances are, what eating habits you should have, what banks you should use, what pizza place you fucking order from. Everything comes from this sense of your foundation. And so many of us live our lives into our 20s and 30s, never questioning that foundation, never questioning the boundaries that were set for us. Never asking the question, do I believe that? Does that feel right to me? Not because I've been told it my whole life and it's comfortable sounding. Does it feel right in my heart, in my soul? Do I want to engage in that anymore? We don't even take the time to ask ourselves these questions. And then we wonder why we're miserable. And we wonder why people use us and abuse us and treat us like we're tools. Because that's what you are when you don't define your purpose and your use, right? I have a whole garden full of tools outside. If I didn't know that a shovel only digs holes and, it has other purposes too, sure, but if I didn't know what a shovel was or I didn't know what, different things were, and I just picked them up and let me just see what happens. I can cause a whole lot of fucking damage with this thing. I can swing it around and But if I don't know its intended use, if I don't know what it's capable of, then I'm going to misuse it and I'm going to mishandle it and then I'm going to get annoyed with it and I'm going to throw it away like it was nothing because I didn't understand it. You have to help people understand you, good and bad. If people are going to be in your life, first thing you should tell people is, hey man, I'm a little messed up. Meet me at our spot. Caught a vibe. I'm a little messed up, right? I, like everyone else, have got shit that I need to work on. And set that as a boundary. I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna be perfect. I don't expect you to be perfect. But I do expect you to try. And I expect that if you come to me, that you're coming to me out of respect, that you know that I care about you enough that I'm not going to let you settle for less. That's called being a good person. That's called being a good friend. That's called being a lover, loving people genuinely, not just letting them skate by in their own bullshit and not letting them have their own boundaries. You know what's the hardest thing you could ever do to someone? I did this to my mother one time. I called her and something happened. I don't know if she didn't answer or she did answer, and she was like, I don't have time. Just call me back in a minute, whatever. Just to mess with her, I called her right back, and I was like, hey, you don't do that. When I call you, you answer. I was kidding. It was a joke. And she was like, I'm sorry, and she started laughing. And I was like, Ma, don't let me do that to you. I said, I was kidding, but like she genuinely felt bad. I said, Ma, don't let me do that to you. I said, I was kidding with you. Like, I called you. I wanted to speak to you. That means I value your time. And if your time is being taken up by something that you're prioritizing right now, that's how I feel about that is not on me. Or it's not on you, it's on me. And if I feel that there's some type of lack in our relationship because you chose that over me right now, well, that's on me. And that means that there's obviously something there that I need to explore. And you'll find in regards to that, your boundaries will show you where your wounds are. We put walls up and we put boundaries up to keep shit out. Things that we don't want. Things that we don't accept in our life anymore. They're triggers. Our boundaries are our triggers. And they're important. And they're ever changing. Don't marry your triggers. Don't marry your boundaries. Don't become them. They are yours. They are to be used by you for your benefit, not to keep you in a smaller version of yourself. And with that, I have so much to do today, and I've got almost no time to get any of it done. It's a Friday. The weekend's coming up, so I got the weekend coming with the fam. I hope you guys know how much I love you. I genuinely love you so very much. I'm sending you all love, hugs, everything I can send you going into this weekend. No, genuinely, there's somebody out there who gives a shit about you, and I genuinely can't wait to see you guys next week. I'm excited. If you guys have anything you want me to cover, anything you want me to talk about, drop it in the comment box below. Again, I'll say it one more time because it's important, and I want you guys to carry it into the weekend with you. I love you so much.